Hola, bonjour, auf Wiedersehen, Benevento. And welcome to the Euro Roundup with me and my boys Patrick Van Straten, where we take your winners and losers, steal a bunch of stats from across the internet, put them into a script, and regurgitate them at your faces. Pato, starting with @ChemoVX's suggestion of Barcelona. It's a well-trodden path, but a lot has booted off there this weekend, right?
Yeah, well, I think you're going to cover the big news story, right? But I'm going to deal with their result. They beat Levante 3-0 at home. They're now 9 points above Atletico Madrid, who are in second place, and they're 16 in front of Real Madrid after they drew. Now, Lionel Messi opened proceedings. He got his 16th in 18 La Liga appearances so far this season. He was assisted by Jordi Alba yet again. That's a very fruitful connection at the moment. It's actually the 5th time that Alba has assisted his captain so far this season. That's Messi's 365th in 400 La Liga games.
That seems normal.
Well, that's the same number as Gerd Müller got in the Bundesliga, so it equals the record for most goals in a single European top 5 league, I think.
That is absolutely chicken oriented.
I mean, it was quite a convoluted stat to get there, to be honest. But anyway, it's absolutely ridiculous. How has he only gone 35 games without scoring? Well, I presume he's gone more than that, but he actually scored like 8 in half of those games. It's ridiculous. What a bloke. Anyway, moving on. Luis Suarez, he's got 11 in 15 after a pretty ropey start to the season. He's really back in form now. He was assisted by Sergio Roberto. For the 4th time, somebody has been getting their stats from one place this week. This guy here.
I wrote this bit, so cool.
Yeah, Sergio Roberto, 6 assists in 12 starts. So he's fitting into that starting lineup really nicely indeed. Suarez has 6 in 7 after having only found the net twice in the 7 before that. So with everybody firing on all cylinders, it looks like it's going to be an easy ride to the end of the season, and reinforcements are arriving, are they not?
Yeah, I mean, that is all well and good, but we've not put them in our winners section because they beat Levante 3-0, have we? Coutinho has arrived for 142 million. Barcelona, after 6 months of hot pursuit, have finally got their man. So, what do the Blaugrana get for all that monies? Well, with 152 appearances for the Reds, the Brazilians scored or assisted 76 times from a variety, it's got to be said, of midfield positions. Only Gerrard and McManaman have contributed more assists in the Premier League era, despite Coutinho actually never getting over 6 assists in a singular season. Probably says more about the creators Liverpool have had of late than the Brazilian's form, although he was on to break that this season. He had 6 in 14. His goal scoring was in the ascendancy too. Last year he scored 13 in 31 appearances, a marked improvement on the 21 he managed in his previous 107 appearances. So he's starting to hit those sort of elite creator heights, but he hadn't outperformed the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Dele Alli, Christian Eriksen in any of his Premier League seasons, had he? So I think they're investing on the basis that he can sustain that form, and I believe that will probably be a natural evolution surrounded by better players. I mean, Coutinho, I don't think he stopped smiling since he realised he never has to play with Jordan Henderson ever again. More pertinently though, Pato, will he play? Not will he play, I hope he will for that sum, but where will he play?
Well, you'd have thought he'd play in that sort of free left-hand side role. Like, look, basically, he can't play in the Champions League, so they're going to have to play him constantly in the league, which allows them to rest Iniesta, I guess, for Champions League games, which will be really good for them. And he's kind of got that free role where he's not really a winger, he's coming inside, he's playing as an attacking mid. Now, I think that Barcelona have been absolutely robbed here. Like, they've paid probably about twice what he's worth. But they have got an exceptionally good player, and they were obviously fixated on him. They were obviously absolutely convinced that he's the heir to Iniesta. So fair enough. Like you say, his goals and assist numbers will probably go, or his assist numbers I'd have thought would. His goal numbers, it's hard to tell because there's a limit to how much he might want to get forward. His job might be just to create there. We don't really know how Valverde is going to use him yet. But you know what? They've got that position sorted out for a few years to come. And that, for Barcelona, is pretty valuable right now.
Yeah, that is a very front-heavy team, isn't it? What, they're going to play a 4-2-4? Who knows? But in other news, we've seen this at the 11th hour, decided to include it because it might be related, it might not. Antoine Griezmann is apparently now on his way to Manchester United. The Red Devils have become the favourites to land the Frenchman. I don't know if it's because Barcelona have signed Coutinho and now have literally nowhere to play Griezmann, or as a result of spending so much, they can't afford his buyout clause, which I believe is, 88, 90 million euros?
Like that.
Something like that. They've spent the Neymar money. That's gone.
Yeah.
They need money for a new stadium, Pato. And as I've just said, he wouldn't fit in anymore. It would mean probably that Dembele drops out. They just spent 110 on.
Or trying to sell Suarez to China or something.
Yeah. What do you think to the rumours that ESPN have been peddling about Griezmann potentially landing a 400k a week contract at Manchester United?
I mean, it does seem like the sort of thing Man United would do, but on the other hand, like, paying one player 400k these days doesn't just mean paying one player 400k. It means that you have to put Pogba up to 400k. Yeah. You have to do that maybe with Lukaku as well. So I don't know if I see that happening. On the other hand, Man United, the ultimate magpie club, like, they see something shiny and they want it. My real issue is how Barcelona have spent all this money on 2 attackers when I think they would have been better off getting somebody a little bit less expensive than Coutinho and maybe spending money around the rest of the squad. Don't get me wrong, I think he'll be really good in Barcelona, but I think that's true of like most decent attackers. And frankly, you look at that squad and it's so old. It's so old. I do worry a little bit about their future. However, right now, looking at Real Madrid's numbers, Coutinho might have a chance to beat Cristiano Ronaldo on goals and assists over the back half of the season.
I think it's the first time in the club's history, or the first time in a very long time, I appreciate that's quite a loose start to a stat, that no player has scored over 4 goals after 17 league games at Real Madrid.
Yeah, their top scorer has as many league goals as like Mesut Ozil right now.
Embarrassing.
They should have kept him.
So, who's going to come second in La Liga, guys? Let us know in the comments below.
Our first losers are Inter Milan. This is from @lam_taught. Interesting name. Not going to get into it right now. What happened to Inter this weekend?
Lam taught. It's made me quite hungry, that handle. Anyway, yeah, they drew 1-1 against Fiorentina away from home, who currently sit in 8th place. Now, this might not be the worst result, but it leaves them with no victories, the Nerazzurri, in their last 4 games and 9 points adrift from the top of the table. It wasn't long ago there at the summit, was it? So Inter were actually moments away from taking all 3 points, but Giovanni Simeone netted a last gasp equaliser in the 91st. He's now scored against both Milan sides in his last 2 games. Well done, Gio. That move from Genoa, I believe, bearing a bit of fruit. Mauro Icardi, who else got into Milan's goal? He's now in the source of 51% of the black and blues strikes. Great on an individual basis. Alarming if you're Spalletti.
Sure.
I'd be wrapping him in cotton wool after every game and keeping him in storage. Yeah, he had a fairly decent game as well, Pato, creating 2 chances for his teammates as well. But in truth, La Viola were the ones who dominated the match, edging Inter in possession. And they also took 10 more shots than the away side. They had the same on target. So essentially were pretty wasteful. Manager of Inter not happy after the game, was he, El Slaphead?
No, he was a little bit irritated, I think it's fair to say. Inter had to make 31 clearances in this game, and Skriniar made 9 of those. Spalletti said afterwards, "Even my 80-year-old mother can see that Inter need a centre-back." But if his mother's been watching Italian football since the 1930s, then she could probably a pretty good judge of which teams need a centre-back.
Scout.
Anyway, Santon had to end up playing central defence when Ranocchio went off injured, so that was pretty bad news for them. On the other hand, for Fiorentina, they're actually unbeaten in their last 8 games, though admittedly 6 of those were draws, only 2 wins. So those draws, 6 in 8, that's as many as they've drawn in their previous 29. So we're on a run at the moment of not being able to break the deadlock at all. Inter, though, it gets serious after this. They've got Roma at home next. The Giallorossi are in pretty poor form. They haven't won in their last 3 league games. They've lost twice. So, I don't know. That one could be an interesting one. We could see who will drop out of the Champions League race at that point. But what do you guys think? Who do Inter need to buy in January? Let us know in the comments below.
Our final winner comes from @EliteVirgil. No prizes for guessing who he's stuck in there. Pato.
The Elite Virgin has brought us Virgil van Dijk. Obviously, Liverpool beat Everton 2-1 in an FA Cup derby face-off.
Look how excited you are about the FA Cup.
Oh, I love it. It's my fave. Virgil van Dijk, anyway, got the 84th minute headed winner. Jordan Pickford, who had actually been pretty good up until then, came out for a corner, flapped at it, and it bounced off that enormous, horribly barnetted head right into the corner of the net. A dream start for Van Dijk, and it wasn't just the goal, which was good. 85.8% pass accuracy. That's probably unnecessarily specific. He won 6 aerial duels, and Calvert-Lewin barely got a sniff in this game. Now, if you cost 75 million, you probably do want to get a couple of goals as well, and especially given that Liverpool were missing Salah and Coutinho, they needed to rely on their big players. They had 61% possession, they had 14 shots versus 4 on target versus 1, so I think it's fair to say the result was deserved. Liverpool are now unbeaten in 16 games versus their City rivals. They've won 8, they've drawn 8, and frankly, the way that Allardyce's team has been playing recently, I think the Toffees will be lucky to snap that streak. It's now the longest unbeaten run Liverpool have against Everton in their history. And given that Everton are taking about 5 shots a game at the moment, I'm not sure I'm very impressed by Allardyce so far. I don't know, so far they've got the odd result and people have been like, oh, it's a classic Allardyce performance. And then you look at the stats, you're like, oh, they conceded like 25 shots and had about 4 themselves. Like those are Bournemouth numbers.
Dyche numbers.
It's that got Eddie Howe rated as one of the best young managers in the Premier League, conceding 1 billion shots and occasionally scoring a worldie. Rubbish. I don't know, I'm not very impressed by Allardyce at Everton so far. I thought he'd do a good job and I still think he will, but I don't know, it's dire.
But couple of flashpoints, weren't there, that really brought the game to life. And one of them, he's replaced Suarez in so many ways. Holgate pushed him into the fans. He squared up to him, obviously wasn't best pleased about it, and there are rumours that he said something racist to Holgate, but innocent until proven guilty. The FA investigation is currently underway. So hopefully they'll be able to shed light on that situation moving forward. Anyway, away from all that sort of stuff and back to Allardyce, because Everton were actually unbeaten in their first 7 games under the stocky Englishman, winning 4 and drawing 3, but they've now lost their last 3, probably owing to a severe lack of firepower.
Yes.
Calvert-Lewin, not really sure he can shoulder the responsibility at this point. Also looks like he might prefer playing out wide. He was deputising as an auxiliary fullback at one point, wasn't he, as well? So they've signed £27 million man, Cenk Tosun, I believe.
They announced it at half-time of this game, I think.
Did he? Throwback. Yeah, he needs to bang, as Everton have now scored 2 in their last 5. One man who does enjoy scoring against Liverpool, though, in the Toffees ranks is Gylfi Sigurdsson, who has 4 goals against them in all competitions. I believe one of those was for Reading, so over quite a long period of time, that record. The Reds have now not lost a Merseyside derby in which they've scored first since 1992, a vintage year for the birth of YouTube presenters. It's me, to clarify. Big games for both teams next, Pato. Everton play Spurs at Wembley on Saturday, and then a mouth-watering tie between City and Liverpool is on the cards for Sunday. Get your score predictions in the comments below.
Our second and final losers are Sevilla, who come to us courtesy of @des_HMFC, an endless string of letters. They had a bit of a rough weekend, didn't they?
Well, there was an endless string of goals in this game, Pato, as Sevilla lost 5-3 to local rivals Real Betis in Vincenzo Montea's first La Liga match. It's also their first home defeat for the club since November. They turned the Ramos Sanchez Pizjuan into a bit of a fortress, hadn't they, Sevilla? But Montea has now failed to win in his last 5 home games, obviously stretching back to his stint at AC Milan, which isn't much of a stretch, as it only happened weeks ago. It's the first time Betis have ever put 5 goals past their rivals, and their first league victory in the derby since 2012, although Sevilla remain unbeaten away at Betis since 2006.
Wow.
So that's one demon exercise, Pato. Batiste need to get on it. Yeah, talk about the worst possible start for your new stint as manager. They lost the ball from kickoff, Sevilla, and conceded 22 seconds into the game. That's not even the fastest goal in this derby, though, Pato.
Okay.
That belongs to Jose Antonio Reyes. You might remember him from a handful of games at Arsenal. He scored after 12 seconds in 2012, which is mental, as was this game. No doubt Sevilla will be left feeling somewhat frustrated, Pat.
Well, yeah, they had 14 shots to Betis' 9, but they only had 3 shots on target to Betis' 5. That means that every single shot on target went in this game. Neither keeper made a save, so not a great day. Christian Theo had a really good game, though. He came on as a sub on 60 minutes. He assisted Sergio Leon for the winner, and he scored himself in stoppage time to make the points safe. Fabian Ruiz had a very good game as well. 1 shot, 1 goal. That's a pretty efficient rate. 74 touches, 3 completed take-ons, 82% passing, and he was never dispossessed. Unlike Sevilla, like you say. Montella must be absolutely livid. He will hope to put things right at Alaves next weekend. They're just 5 points ahead of Betis now, in 5th place in the league. So they could either wrap up a Europa League spot, or they could find themselves finishing below their rivals. Time will tell. Let us know what you think will happen in the comments below.
Yes, we know we've only done 2 winners and losers, and that is because we're introducing a new section. I say new, we used to do it prior, but I thought it was a bloody good idea, so we're bringing it back for 2018. It is the highlight and low light of the week, and our highlight comes from Sujal TDR, and it is only the flipping greatest team in Europe at current.
Yes.
For all the wrong reasons. Benevento. Take it away, Pat.
Yeah, on the basis of their last 2 games, they're on title-winning form. They've won back-to-back matches. That's the first time they've done that in Serie A, because this is their first season in Serie A and it's only their 2nd win. They had 1 point after 18 games, and now they've won their last 2. They scored 3 goals in the final 25 minutes to beat Sampdoria 3-2. Pretty amazing stuff. Now, Enrico Brignola, who's an 18-year-old, he scored the winner in the 91st minute. It's his first goal in senior football. But the star of the game was Massimo Coda. He was a bit more of a veteran striker. 8 shots, hit the woodwork twice, scored twice, and got an assist. What a bloke. He's their top scorer. He's their top scorer with 3 goals. All of them have come in the last 2 games. Benevento are so bad, and I've never loved a team more. Isn't there like 2nd highest scorer at the moment? Their keeper, who scored like that equaliser in other games.
Was it against AC?
It's absolutely magnificent. I don't know what Benevento. It's everything that I love about football. They're just, but incredibly entertaining.
Yeah.
Sort of like Arsenal.
I could not agree more, Pato. Pure theatre, drama, an Italian-based play that Shakespeare would have been proud of, because he set quite a lot in Italy, didn't he?
Yeah.
It's the only Italian thing I could think of on the fly. Julius Caesar, Othello, more.
Much ado. Merchant of Venice.
Merchant of Venice, good
2
one.
Gentlemen of Verona. Bang.
Again, all classics. But the turning point in this game was when Sampdoria's Salah got sent off after 82 minutes, not to be confused with Liverpool's Salah. And Coda made it 2-1 from the resulting free kick. That's the guy Pato was talking about, who took a barrel load of shots. Nevertheless, Benevento manager Roberto De Zerbi summed up the game by heaping praise on himself, which I fully respect. He called the victory a tactical masterpiece. What a guy.
What a bloke.
Didn't congratulate his players, just went ham on his own nouse. Benevento still bottom, as you'd suspect. 8 points from safety and 6 off 19th place Hellas Verona. But can they perform the Great Escape? No, absolutely not. Don't even let us know in the comments below.
Sorry, Benevento.
Bye.
See ya.
Ciao.
Now, our low light of the week was brought to our attention by a bunch of you actually on Twitter, and also by Joe Tomlinson, who sent us a smug, sort of gloating, douchey WhatsApp message as usual. Chris, what is it?
Look away, fans of Bordeaux, because our low light is the Girondins' demise at the hands of 4th tier side Granville in the Coupe de France. despite the fact they were 1-0 up at half-time.
Quality.
Now, the Southerners aren't having the best of seasons, Patter. They currently occupy 15th place in the top tier of French football. But then again, neither are Granville.
Okay.
They're currently 11th in their division out of 16 places.
What is that division?
What is their division, I hear you ask?
Yeah, I do.
Group
you do hear me ask that.
D of the Championnat National 2. I was going to work out how many teams separated Bordeaux and Granville, and then
couldn't be asked.
I just couldn't be asked.
It's at least 2.5 divisions, like probably more. They're in Group D of the Championnat National 2. Okay, so they're not even in the Championnat National 1, and they're not even in one of the top 3 groups of the Championnat
It's like
National
Spain,
2.
where there's so many regional sides, they're just like melting pot.
They're in like the Blue Square Bet Premier League North Division 2. Like they're absolute. The other bad thing that happened to them, finished the game with 8 men. Their goal scorer, Younes Sankharé, saw red in the 85th minute, 6 minutes before they equalised. Karik then saw red. Ladislas converted a penalty, the big lad. And then Yaroslav Plasil also had to get in on it. He saw everybody else getting sent off. He fancied a shower, so he got straight in there, got himself red carded as well. What a bloke. This is amazing.
Ladislas scored a penalty as well. Lads, all the lads.
They've lost to a made-up team, and everyone's been sent off in the process.
All the garçons.
Quality. Anyway, that's the low line.
So that was the Euro roundup, guys. Thank you for sending in your tweets. If you want to partake next week, then follow my Twitter. If you're not already, then these hoes ain't loyal. What's happening elsewhere?
We'll obviously check out winners and losers over on Football Daily and head over to 90+1 Facts. I believe the most recent video we've got out there is Kevin De Bruyne. That pronunciation is covered, I promise you. And as always, get at us in the comments, like and subscribe, do all that good bring you more terrible content a week today. Bye.